If you've ever thought about renovating your own kitchen, then this is going to be a great video for you. No, this is not a video about me renovating my kitchen. This is actually a video about our videographer, Max, renovating his kitchen. Now Max, he's an intelligent guy and he's got a lot of skills behind the camera and in the editing suite. He's responsible for a lot of our success on this channel, but he doesn't know how to use tools worth a darn, except for when it comes to fixing trucks. I never did understand that. Max took it upon himself to renovate his house because he was expecting a baby and he wanted to finish off the kitchen renovation before the little critter came along. So in this video, you're going to follow along the journey of Max using all the skills and tips and tricks and videos from our DIY channel and trying to finish this renovation on his own. No, he never told me he was doing it. He never called for help. He tried to do it as a complete testimony to what an average person using this video channel that we've produced here can do on their own. He wants to help empower you. I think you're going to have a lot of fun watching this. I enjoyed it thoroughly. There's a lot to learn, including what it's like to be a real human doing major renovations. Cheers. We'll see you at the very end. I got a message for you there too.
Today I'm going to show you how we transformed this kitchen and saved thousands of dollars doing it ourselves. Now the thing is, I'm not a contractor, but for the last 10 years I've been the cameraman on Home Renovision DIY YouTube channel. So I'm going to use all that knowledge I've gained, I'm going to use the YouTube channel itself, Home Renovision, and show you how powerful they are. We're going to refer to the videos so you can do the project yourself. And at the end of the video, we're going to tell you how much it all costs and get Jeff's reaction to see what he thinks. Now the kitchen, I think it's like a 90s kitchen. I was told it might be an IKEA. It's in good shape. Everything functions, and the original plan was completely different. We were actually going to rip this kitchen out and we were going to put in either a builder kitchen, either Home Depot or Lowe's, something like that. We were going to do that, and then what happened? COVID hit and everything went crazy, so it was really difficult to do things. So this just got put on the back burner, everything changed, and I decided, well, this is a nice kitchen for what it is, and with the amount of work we've done in this house, we've done it very economically. If we put like 30K into a kitchen, I don't think we get much of that money back. We get a certain amount back, but not for the amount of work we've already done. We're already so far ahead just based on the DIY stuff that if we drop that much money, like in this neighborhood, everybody has the same kitchen. They have a galley kitchen. Maybe they've upgraded, you know, their countertops and cupboards and whatnot, but everyone's got the same kitchen. So in comparison to other neighborhood, I could see people's kitchens right from the window. They're not all that different. A lot of people still have this kitchen. So putting 30K into a kitchen doesn't make much sense to me. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna do what one of our most popular videos has done, actually. We had this video on how to do a kitchen renovation and save thousands. It's on the second season, I believe. It's the most popular video. And in that episode, Jeff, the only thing he does is he gets the countertops replaced by a company, but he paints the cupboards, does his own backsplash, tile over tile, and puts some flooring down. And that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the same thing. Now, originally, I was thinking, well, you know, I could do a couple things and I'll get somebody to spray the cupboards and whatnot, because my wife was like, well, I want it to be pro. And I was talking to her even yesterday. I'm like, you know what? I really want to give it a shot. You know, if I'm doing this project, let's just try. I'll give it a shot. And I'll start with a different one. We have like a scrap on the side. If I do a good job with that one, she said I can give it a shot. She said if I screw it up, then we're gonna pay somebody. But we'll have the countertops changed for sure. I think I really want to try these. It is a bit of work. I know we can just hire somebody to do it, but I think it'd be a really fun challenge to do. And since we're doing this video, might as well. And then what we're gonna do is we're also going to do the backsplash. And doing this backsplash would be a disaster because you gotta rip it out and then you gotta replace the drywall. I'm told that, you know, you can't just go over top. So we're gonna do the trick that Jeff did. We're gonna go right over top. We're gonna put some product on and then put a second layer on, which I know a lot of people say is a no-no, but he's done it in a lot of different places, and to be honest with you, it's always held up. Heck, he even did it in my mom's shower, and a lot of people have seen that. We did like a shower. We put some tile up 4 years ago, well, actually almost 5 years ago now, and then 3-4 years later, we did tile over tile with some new hexagonal tile from Eurotile. It looked awesome. And you know what? It's still there a year later, hasn't moved an inch, and that's a high water area. This area, it's just really backsplash, not much water. So I think it'll be okay. So we'll do that. The last thing I'm gonna do is flooring. I actually did something really creative. I put Lifeproof flooring all in one place. We had, I think, 3 or 4 different types of flooring on this level. What I'm gonna try to do is link it from there over there. So what I did is I got it all set up, and hopefully I could link it all together and there'll be no transitions in the entire floor. That's kind of the idea. So I'm going to go right over the top of the ceramic and just make it all one flooring. It's just going to be easier to clean. I'm going to stop talking now. I'm going to get to work. I'm not going to show you everything. This is not a how-to video. I'm just going to show you parts. So hopefully for your entertainment value, you'll see me, you know, either have a success or a failure. I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. I've never done a kitchen before, but this will be a first for me. We'll give it a shot and see what happens. And you know what? You're going to come for the ride. Oh, and one more thing. I am not a professional contractor. I'm not even a handyman. So don't take my advice for anything. This is more for just entertainment value. You know, you don't have to take it in my tips and tricks. That's for darn sure. I'm not a pro. I'm just going to take all the knowledge I've learned the last 10 years and apply it here and see what I could do myself as a DIYer and not as a professional. So be warned. Alright, so project update. It's going pretty well so far, can't complain. As you can see through the time lapses, it takes me a lot longer than it takes Jeff. A lot of mistakes and botches and more time, but you know, it is getting done. Now originally what we're going to do is we're going to do one of those custom kitchens, the ones you see at Home Depot or Lowe's. We're going to do that and show it on the Home Renovision channel and do a whole series about it. Jeff was going to explain how to do everything. And when COVID came, all of a sudden it became really difficult to do everything. Couldn't even go in the stores. So we had to wait, and by the time things cooled down, we had to go back to filming how-to videos, and we had to get Jeff's farmhouse underway. So we're working on that, and during that time, my wife got pregnant. We had been trying for several months, finally we got pregnant, and now, being October, it's about 3-4 months in, and honestly it's getting closer and closer, and the last thing I want to be doing when the child is here is renovating my house. We got to get this thing done. The last thing I want to do is renovate and have the kitchen all ripped apart when we have a child, so we kind of had to do it by necessity. It's time to get this kitchen going underway, and we're going to do it on a budget. We're not doing it, you know, crazy budget. We're going to see how much we can do this for. I'm actually going to keep all track of all the costs, and then I'm going to show you at the end of the video how much this all cost, just to give you an idea of what this would cost, because it does go up pretty quickly, even if you're doing it the cheap way, but it doesn't mean it's the wrong way. All right, so here are our finished panels for the top box above the cupboards. These were a real pain in the butt too, by the way. I'm a horrible carpenter, so this took me forever, and it really was enjoyable at all, and I'm glad it's done. But hopefully they work well. I've already kind of dry fitted them, but before we put them in, we got to paint them. So I'll show you what we're painting stuff with. First thing, Kill. So this is Jeff's secret weapon. Gonna be using it. It is an oil-based primer, I believe. So goes covers things really well, and it's gonna work well in the cabinets too, because the sap from the oak comes through. This is a stain blocker, so it won't do it. So that's what you want to use. Now for this, it's not as important, but for the cabinets, it's more important. And then the final coat, we're gonna be using this Rust Olean paint. I use the same stuff on the desk in the garage. It turned out pretty good. Really misleading name because it's not for rust paint. That's just the name of the company. But it says right there it's, you know, for plastic and wood and all this stuff, and It works really well. So those are the two things we're gonna do. First thing, gotta do prime, then you gotta paint. All right, so now we're at the stage where everything's dry here. Cabinet doors are drying in the garage. If you notice, I have removed everything from here. I should have done that before. Like an idiot, I didn't before, and everything got an off spray, so I learned that the hard way. Everything's a mess now, so this is what happens when you don't do this for a living and you make mistakes, so I'm letting you know. Anyways, another thing is this spray paint, not only does it give a hell of an off spray, but the gases are pretty bad. And the mask I had was a little, it had some holes in it, so I was just not feeling great after that, I gotta tell you. So I have a better mask now. It's kind of like Hank, King of the Hill, when he was using the Varathane on the grandfather clock. Bah, I think I'm high. You know, he was painting it in a closed area, so that's kind of what happened. So make sure your windows are open, have a good mask and everything. You know, it can't be too safe with this stuff or you'll feel like crap. Anyways, gotta sand this down now, put the final coat, and I'm gonna wear this time. It's going a little slow, you know, it takes a little more time than I thought, but this is the reality of it, man. You got to put the hard work in, so we'll just keep going and see how it goes. Now for sanding, I am going to put a mask on. Right now I just want to show you I'm going to use 400 grit paper. I just picked 400, seemed like a good number. The higher the number, the more fine it is. The lower the number, the rougher it is. So what you want to do, just run across, yeah, like that is a big difference. Like, look at this. You can probably hear it. So big difference. So you got to sand these down, put the time in, and then you paint. So yeah, it's going to be a lot more work. A lot of people would just prime it and then paint it. But you know what? If you've seen a lot of Jeff's videos, you actually see that he actually sands between coats on any type of surface. And there's a reason for that, because if you sand between coats, you get a much smoother look. So that's why he does it. People wonder why. Well, you can see now, you know, he's got a lot of experience in this field. So that kind of knowledge, that's where the channel goes a long way, because you learn these little tidbits that you wouldn't know and makes all the difference. It goes from kind of a crappy DIY job to more of a professional job. Well, as professional as you can get with very little experience. So it's been a couple days now. It's now the following weekend, and for the past 5 days we've had absolutely no use of this kitchen. As you can see, it's pretty much a war zone, and it's like this in every single room. I don't want to show you this just so you can see what a mess the whole house is. It's just the realities of renovating. This is what you're going to go through. If you're going to be renovating your house and you don't have that much space, it's going to look like this. And this is actually pretty horrible, because this is more like, it's like drywall dust. The off spray is just everywhere, and it's just made the whole house a complete and utter mess. So during this point, you can see now why I didn't want to do this while we have a baby, because you just can't use this room. And then if you're working during the week like I am, you just don't have any time to work on this. So weekends is pretty much the only time I have, and that's why I've been doing like 14-hour days, because, you know, unless you do this for a living and you're just doing the weekends, you don't really have that much luxury, unless you have a massive house with multiple kitchens and stuff. But who's got one of those, right? If you're buying an old house and you want to make some money, you can do it. and it's just going to be not the most enjoyable experience living there. So, you know, if you have kids or young children or something like that and lack of space, then it's going to be much more difficult for you. So really think about what you're doing there. You can make a good plan, you can make it happen, but you're going to have to put something on the line, right? There's going to have to be sacrifice made, and it's going to be comfort in this case, right? It's been 4 years of this, working during the week, and then on the weekends doing this. So, you know, haven't really relaxed in almost 4 years, which is crazy, because you can't really live like this. But at the same time, the house has been transformed. You'll see more of that later. But anyways, we're just gonna keep it going now. Now the spraying, like I said, I was gonna have somebody do it, and they claim they do this in 1 day, which I find really hard to believe because it's a hell of a lot of work. Even with a big crew, you need this stuff to dry and cure properly before you sand it. So I don't know, but you know, so far it's only cost me a couple $100 in spray paint, so can't really complain. All right, so the cabinets are finally finished. We're making some progress. They're all on. I'm pretty happy with how they turned out. I think they look good. For, you know, a couple $100 worth of spray paint, it's actually pretty amazing where it can go, and a little bit of hardware. Anyways, next we have to move on. The countertops have been ordered. We've ordered the quartz. You'll see that at the end. However, we have to wait about 2 weeks for them to get installed, so in the meantime, we have to keep busy and do something else. Now, we can't do the backsplash because that goes on last, and we can't do any finishing carpentry because that's like completely last. But what we can do is the flooring. This is what we're using. This is the Lifeproof brand from Home Depot. Really good stuff. This is not sponsored, just what I like to use. It's really convenient, easy to find, great stuff, looks good, really, really durable. Now, I'm not a flooring expert, but I'm actually pretty excited for the stage because this is one of the things I've actually done quite a bit, so I have a decent amount of experience. So hopefully some of these tips will actually help you. When doing vinyl flooring, I think it's the easiest type because laminate, when you're doing that, you're cutting it, there's lots of dust produced. It's a really nasty product to work. Everything goes in the air. This, when you cut, there's no dust at all, which is awesome. That's why I like it. It's waterproof, which is awesome. It's really, really scratch resistant, unlike a lot of laminates, or even the cheaper ones, actually, to be honest with you. So you do have to buy like a little better one. You can't go the cheapest, but at the same time, this is like, I think it's like $2.50 a square foot, you know, almost $3 Canadian. That's not bad, you know, and it's really, really good stuff. The rest of the house, it's had a 1 year life cycle so far, and no gaps came up. Everything's still good. We've beat the hell out of it, and it's not scratched up. So the thing I like about this product, if you scratch it, it does almost nothing. Like, this is just a pen. I know you can do something much harder, but honestly, with the cheaper ones, if you cheap out and you scratch it like that, it'll actually turn white. You can scratch this, obviously, it's not invincible. But what I'll do is it'll just leave a mark. It won't turn white. At my parents' house, they use a cheaper brand, and we moved a fridge that had wheels. Honestly, it just went across and it scratched the hell out of the whole floor. It looks horrible because that's what happens when you go with the cheaper brand. So just don't do it. You know, even if it's like 50 cents less, it's just not worth it, you know? Even if you have to pay the extra buck, I think it's worth it to go for something like this. And I like Lifeproof because it has a hell of a lot of choices. Like, there's so many different styles and looks and whatnot, and it's easy to get. Let's say you buy one box like too short, you can just go to the store and buy one. It's really, really convenient. So yeah, it's a convenience store thing, but in this case, I think it's actually worth it. So we'll put that. And the last thing is, if you're putting this down, one thing I noticed, it says, you know, it has underpad or whatever, like a layer. You really should actually put down your own underpad. And Jeff recommended not using the Lowe's or Home Depot stuff. Like, go to like a flooring supplier store and get that there, because they're much higher quality and they're cheaper in price, but they're actually higher in quality. So that's what we did. So we're gonna use that. But honestly, this is like one of the easiest projects I think you could do if you're just starting out. This is what I did when I started out. Oh, and I probably should mention, this weird looking transition, this was put in temporary. The reason this was put in was to protect the edge of the rest of the floor. So I have this crazy idea. I'm gonna start at the other side of the room. I'm gonna keep the floor going, and then hopefully, if I did everything correctly, I could actually link it under here. We're gonna fix this afterwards anyways, but take a look. You see this stair pattern? There's a reason for that. The reason for the stair pattern was so that we can actually link them, because they have to go like this. You can't have them come out. It's gonna be very difficult to link. So I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna jump in here, and hopefully if I lined everything up, everything should line up perfectly here and connect, if I did it right. So, but first we need the underpad. So we're gonna clean under the counter cupboards first, because it's really nasty in there. Get rid of all the spiders, and then put the flooring down. Kind of holding it, it needs a little love tap. That's the way you want to do that. I take a piece of scrap 2x4. This is from my wonderful desk. And I just tap it in. And go down as you go. Now it's almost there, it's pretty tight, but in some areas I see it still needs a little bit of improvement. So do it till you're totally happy with it. If it's not tight, it's not gonna work. The reason I use a 2x4, it's because it just gives you a much bigger surface area to impact. All right, so it's actually going pretty quick, a lot quicker than I expected. Even with a few hiccups, it's been going really well. But now is the defining moment of truth, whether or not my idea actually worked or not, whether this will connect this, because I did the same pattern on that side of the hallway as I did here, but the thing is they can go different directions, so I have no idea. But we'll see. If it works out, that'd be really cool. If it doesn't, I'm not really sure what I'll do, but we'll figure it out from there. So there is one more piece that goes here, but it has to be cut, so I can't actually put that in right now. But what I'm gonna do is put the next one in and see if I line this one up here, if it'll work. I'm not sure if that makes sense. I'm just gonna do it. All right, so let's see. So eventually we'll have a piece here. This is what I was hoping for, right? So if this worked, that means, yeah, it looks a little tight between here, but I don't know. Maybe we'll be able to make it work, I don't know. Let's take another piece. Let's put it here. Yeah, I don't know, we'll see. Okay, so we'll lay this one in. This is gonna have to be really tight. And if this works out, I could actually try to move the whole floor back a little bit, if that makes sense or not. And then this has to go on top, like here. Oh yeah, dude, look at that. I can make that work. See, that's a great idea. I was able to link this and this because the lengths are the same here. Yeah, the angles are slightly different a little bit, but it's really not that bad. This is so cool. You know what this means? It means we have absolutely zero transitions in this entire floor. It's just one big chunk. Well, not yet, but it will be in a few minutes. But anyways, you can tell I'm excited because it actually worked out. I've been thinking about this for almost a year. This is great. Anyway, so we'll put that together. Now we are covering 3 different types of flooring on this entire floor. Everything was the same height. We just went over ceramic. I think it was like a laminate type flooring. and the third one was sticky tile. So now we got one continuous surface, nice and easy to clean. I'm gonna get back to it and finish this off, but I'm super excited because it actually worked. So some of these days, you get lucky.
Hey guys, Jeff here. Welcome to my renovation. Well, we're not on TV, but we do a TV show. It's called Reality Renovision. 800 square feet outdoor living space. Oh, wow!
All right, guys, today's the big day. Countertops coming in. It's the week, so I'm doing what I normally do. I'm editing Reality Renovision and Home Renovation, all that fun stuff. So thought I'd give you a little behind the scenes. This is kind of where we edit the show and do all the episodes and whatnot. Right now, we're doing a promotional video for Reality Renovision, the series you're watching right now. This will be for the 4th season, which is the season this episode will be in. So this is where we work. We do all the episodes here, all the editing, all the mixing, all the sound. Everything's done down here, and everything you see on YouTube. This is where it's done. Anyways, today's kind of an interesting day because during the workday, I'm gonna get this ready, do a little export here, and while that's going, I'm gonna go upstairs, take out the sink, take out the countertop, and just make room for the countertop people to install. So I'm really excited to see that. All right, time to do the deed of removing these guys. Now, when removing these, there's usually a caulking joint. Not that there's one much there, and then these are actually put on with screws from underneath, so you got to remove these things. Wow. All right. Now all those hours in the gym might finally pay off. Lorenzo, come here. Lorenzo, come here. Come here. Lorenzo, come on in. This guy just hangs out here all the time. Look at him. Pretty cool. All right, back to work. So these are the countertops. It is a quartz, and they look really good. I didn't realize that this back piece doesn't come with it. That's just my inexperience, I guess, but that didn't come with it, so now I gotta make the backsplash start from the bottom. The other surprise was they didn't put the sink in. When I heard 2-hour install and all this, I figured maybe they do it. At first I thought they wouldn't do it, but then when they told me how long it takes to install, I figured that's included. I guess not, I probably should have asked, so Max has to do some plumbing for the first time ever. I guess it's probably good for the video. Because they put on wedges, it's not actually sitting on the top here, so I'm actually just gonna add some silicone in there. All right, put some heavy down. Oh, the only heavy thing I could find is car battery. This is really turning into Max's redneck repair here. Not really what I wanted to demonstrate, but I guess it doesn't get any more real than this. Double check. Good. Perfect. There we go. See, sometimes it's just good to double check. Really important to do. Can't always trust people, even if they're professionals, to do this kind of stuff. All right, drop in our beast of a sink. I know all the ranges undermount these days, but I don't want to undermount sink. I honestly think that looks nice. I like the low profile. I think it looks pretty cool. Why not show it? I like it. I like it a lot. All right, now let's put this thing in. So I had to remove a couple of the lines in order to get that piece off. Lesson learned there. What I also did, another Jeff hack, is I removed there's like a plate. That looks like this. It's really nasty. I don't think it's necessary anymore. This is just much cleaner. Look, it looks so much neater and nicer. And why would we throw away this nice tap? The faucet looks good, so yeah, I could attach that stuff. Just probably shouldn't connect the water. Hello?
Hi, baby.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, you?
Yeah. Come on in.
Hi, sweetie. Hi, sweetie. Yes. Oh my god, what's on her face?
Whoa, what's on her face?
Oh my gosh, she's full of paint or something.
Yeah.
Damn. Looks good.
Pretty slim shady, eh?
Yeah.
You like
at
it?
her. Look.
Oh no, that's the polyurethane. Damn it.
How did she get that on?
I don't know. Damn it. The day's just coming to a close here, but my day's just begun. It's Friday night. Tomorrow morning we're tackling the backsplash, but before we do that, there's a couple of things we gotta do. We can't just go and start putting tile on because, as you can see, there's a couple issues here. If this was just regular drywall, no problem. Can, start doing the cement, putting it on, but can't do that with this because, first of all, two issues. One, there's tile, and here it's actually not the same depth. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna fill that in. I have a couple ideas, so I'm gonna do that. We'll do that. And then after that, we're gonna go over the tile, we're gonna prime it, because if we just put the cement on, I'm not sure how long it'll hold. So we're gonna put primer on there. I'll show you guys how to do that. Another one of Jeff's little tricks. So we'll get started, let's get this going. All right, time to prime our walls. We're gonna be using Eco Prime Grip. This is a primer that gives you maximum grip. As well, we're gonna be using a little foam roller over here, just cheap stuff. This stuff's pretty expensive. It's like over $75, so just so you know, factor that in. The back here, it all needs to be primed. That's why I did this first. I put it all the same height. I know this looks pretty kind of like, it looks a little ghetto, I'll be honest with you, but you know what, it's gonna work. It doesn't really matter what's behind there as long as it's strong. So I put a heck of a lot of nails in there. We're just gonna prime it up, it's gonna look good. We're gonna cover it up and we're gonna move on because this is it, man. We're almost there. is what we're putting on the backsplash. It is glass and stone, little mosaic. Should look pretty cool, I think. It's gonna be a bit of a challenge cutting this because you can't cut glass very easily. So you actually have to flip it upside down and cut the back end. Or, which is the better option, is using a wet saw. So this is just a cheap wet saw we've used before. We're gonna be using that. To put everything on, we're gonna be using Mapai Ultralight. This is a really good bonding agent for the cement. We put on the backsplash. And it's really strong stuff, so you can just put the towel there. You don't have to hold it up with anything. I'm gonna mix it with mixing blade. And finally, any other cuts we have for like plugs and stuff, we have a grinder with this is a porcelain bit, I believe, diamond bit for cutting the tile. So those are things. Not really gonna be doing any demonstrations today. Just gonna be going into it. Gonna time lapse the whole thing so you can see it, because today's all about production. And since I'm not a teacher, that's not the plan here. I'm super happy right now because we finished the kitchen almost, like 90%. We got one day of just final things to do, and then it's finished. And not only is the kitchen finished, but the whole house is done. So I'm like really pumped right now. Last weekend was crazy. It was really, really nuts doing that tile. I knew it would take all weekend. I didn't think it would take that much time. The tile took about 10 hours. It went really well, to be honest with you. Doing the tile over tile system worked great. The next day was the grout. The grout was a disaster. It took 12 hours. It took so long to do the grout that the drill literally caught fire. So that was crazy. We had to do the grout 3 times before it looked good. So I picked 2 different colors before. Neither one of them looked good. We did one side. I finished it. And I was talking to my mom and I was just like, man, it looks like crap. I absolutely hate it. And thank God she was just like, you know what, Max? Let's just get rid of it. So we went and we literally scraped out all the grout with screwdrivers for like 2 hours. Thank God we did. We went with a darker color. Didn't look good. It looked brown, so we got rid of that. And then finally we found a color that we needed, so we did that. Got through it. Thank God she was there. Had she not been there, I don't think I would have pushed through that day, because honestly I was really tired and discouraged and mad at myself. But we got it finished. The grout's on. All that's ready to go. So all that we got to do now is just a couple final touches, right? Cleaning up and things like plugs. I got to put the lights back on. Because we did the tile over tile, which is a great system, honestly. It's a genius system. There's a few things we got to do to kind of fix it. First thing is the window itself. I'm going to add a little piece of wood to make it complete. Just have it stick out. I think that's going to look really good. We'll put the plugs on. We'll put the under cabinet lighting back on. We just have to do some adjustments. And because it's tile over tile, you have a nasty edge on the sides of the front. So the way we're going to fix that is with this outside corner aluminum. It's like, it looks about an inch, maybe ½ inch, something like that. Put that on the corners, finish it off. So now what we're going to do, we're just going to finish everything off. We'll get into the before and afters. So the project's all complete. It took 6 weeks to complete, but it's finished.
Woohoo!
Yay, we're done.
Awesome.
Yes, now I think it's time to go through the cost breakdown, which is what everyone's pretty much here for. So let's start with the flooring. $520.
That's not bad. I love the flooring. It's doesn't show any scratches, doesn't show any dog paws. It's pretty much always looking clean, so that's good.
Yeah, it's kind of got like a matte finish to it. It's really easy to keep it clean, so it looks good. Love it. All right, next part, we got the stove. And, well, we changed the stove. This was earlier on, actually, we did it before the video. But we also we had a hookup in the back, so we had a technician come and actually do a hookup. So all that cost, we sold the old stove, we bought a new stove, and we had the upgrade for the gas. And that cost $900.
That's not bad.
Yeah, so you like the gas better, right?
Oh my god, it's night and day with an electrical stove, so I prefer gas over what we had before,
yeah,
100%.
Burn all our food on the old one, so. Next part is the sink. The sink was $430.
I love the sink, it's a big sink, and I can't wait to wash the baby in it.
I don't know how I feel about that one, but I like washing the dishes in it. You know, it's nice having the bigger sink because I actually didn't think it was gonna be that much of a difference, but it's just awesome putting way more dishes in there. It doesn't splash as much because it's so deep, so great upgrade. The faucet, we kept it from last time, but the faucet costs $120. So.
Yeah, it works, so why not keep it?
Yeah, I just factored that in there because you will have to buy a new faucet. The countertop was the most expensive part, obviously, and that was $3,200.
But it's so nice. Stone is, it's awesome.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, it looks really good. It's really easy to clean. That's my favorite part. I think it looks
Great.
Yeah.
Feels great.
And moving on, the cabinets.
How much did it cost? You didn't say.
Yeah, it's $300. I said $3,200. Yeah.
Oh, I missed it.
Yeah, it happens. It's okay. Miss things all the time. All right, next, moving on. Cabinets, $370 to repaint them.
That's where we are winners.
Yeah, winners, gagnant. We saved the most amount of money in that for sure. I don't even know how much it would have cost to get all new ones, but I can't believe we were almost gonna throw these out. I actually feel really stupid for even considering that because they're in good shape. So. It's
crazy how much a little bit of paint will go in hardware.
Exactly, and like I couldn't even, you know, this is a part that you can really only know until you live in it for a while. So it's been a few months, so I didn't realize how much I was being careful with them before because they kept falling apart until we glued them together. So I was like so gingerly opening them all. Now like gluing them, that made a big difference.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. Love it.
It's like brand new. All right, next, moving on. We have, what do we got here? Backsplash. So you picked the most expensive backsplash, obviously. $720.
Yeah, well, it was hard to find navy blue backsplash, so I just honestly was looking for the color I wanted, and that's what I picked, and I love it.
Yeah, actually, it does almost have kind of a blue tint to it certain times of the day, so it looks really good. Honestly, I really like it too. I was gonna go for a bigger one, but bigger one doesn't make sense with this backsplash because there's not much space. So smaller is better for sure, and it was easier to install. So awesome. Next part, we have the trim and the crown, all that stuff. So you know, finishing the top and everything. That was $240, paint included.
And honestly, it's so worth capping off the top of the covers.
Both
because,
work, yeah. That's awesome.
You don't have dust being collecting up there, spiders and all that stuff, so it just finishes the look of the kitchen real nicely.
Yeah, I like the part that there used to be spiders every single day. Now we almost never see them anymore, so it made a difference. And then the lighting was fairly expensive because we didn't buy anything on sale, which kind of sucks, but because of the pandemic, it was really hard to get stuff. So lighting was $750.
Jesus.
Well, that's okay though. But you know, I think the lights were good because we picked the big light.
But their LEDs are gonna last, I don't know how many years, lots of years, so.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be good too. I like having the under cabinet lighting too.
Oh, the under cabinet lighting is a must, honestly, because you don't have to open all the lights. You literally just swipe and the lights will go on wherever you are. And I think it's very functional.
It is functional, yeah. And we don't use the big light almost ever. We just use the under cabinet lighting because it's enough. At night, they're honestly enough. Like this is like when you're cooking a big meal or something, but you don't really need it. Like you should get it, but it's good to have options. That's what she's basically saying. And then the last thing, what we did is we added storage in the back. We bought 2 of these things, and that was $350. So that's like extra cabinetry to put stuff away. How do you like those things back there?
That's awesome.
And then that's pretty much it. And the final price, all this together, $7,600 Canadian.
That's not bad.
It's like $5,500 American.
That's not bad for what it looked like before, honestly.
Yeah. So like now that it's done and that you lived in it, you know how much it cost, obviously. And now living in a few months, was it worth doing this, or should we just have kept the old one?
No.
Okay.
It was worth all the blood, sweat, and tears for sure.
Yes.
On your part.
Oh, that's great. I'm really happy. You know, it turned out great. It's finished, and all the renovation's done. That's awesome.
Yay!
Well, Max, that was awesome, buddy.
Thanks,
now
man.
listen, I know before COVID started, we had talked about plans to work together to make videos at your kitchen, because I was going to be more than happy to help you renovate that space.
That's right, yeah.
I had no idea you were moving ahead without me. So it kind of blew my mind to see the video.
Yeah, it was kind of a surprise. I just decided to do it. I didn't tell you about it, and it was meant to be a surprise, which
Yeah,
I
well,
guess
it was. You just showed me there like a few minutes ago, and I'm like, okay, this is awesome. I haven't been to Max's house in almost 2 years, right? Because of COVID and because our lack of understanding for the first year of what was going on, we didn't want to take any chances.
No, so it was a matter of just constantly adapting to whatever we had, and that meant day by day.
Right.
Like, the plans changed so much. Like that original plan that we had of doing the custom kitchen, that was a really good plan. We really wanted to do that, but it just couldn't happen. So this was out of desperation. So
it's a great plan B.
You got to go with the times. You can't just be.
How long did it take from start to finish, buddy?
I believe it took 8 weekends.
8 weekends.
8 weekends, yeah.
Okay, because you work.
Yeah.
Like I got you working.
Yeah.
Like you don't sleep.
No, so I couldn't work during the week. I think there was one day when the countertop actually came.
Yeah.
Because they came, I think it was like on a Wednesday or something, so I had to get it ready.
Yeah.
So I watched the video of the laundry room of you removing the sink and all that stuff literally that morning, and then I did what you did in that video. And
Right.
then they installed it, and then I didn't.
And then you had the big surprise. You're like, oh, they're not going to put the sink in.
And there was
for me.
no plumbing, so I had to finish the day with that. So that was a kind of a surprise, but I think that's what you kind of get in these renovations. You get the surprises, and that's why I want to do this video.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, buddy. You did a great job.
Thanks, man.
So listen, if you're wondering, Max is not a renovation pro.
No.
He's a regular guy. You did 8 weekends.
Yeah,
And you
8
renovated
weekends.
your whole kitchen.
And I've never done any kitchen before. I've never assisted on anything. So like all that was completely new. And I lost a couple of nights of sleep, to be honest with you. That's not even like joking, exaggerating. I was actually very intimidated of doing this.
Right, but now you're on the other side. So what does it feel like? Do you think you can handle another project?
I do. Like that. I think that's the point of this stuff, is that it does empower you. You know, I filmed for so many years with you, and it's one thing to film and watch and learn from you, but to do something, it takes a lot of, it takes some cojones
Right.
to do it, and doing that and just invest in yourself to do such a project, any sort of project for that matter. But to take the first step, once you take the leap off the cliff, you're kind of going, and you just got to go with it. You know
That's
what I mean?
awesome, man.
And that was the hardest part about it.
Nice.
After that, it kind of went, so.
Well, listen, Max is the only guy I know that works harder than I do. Seriously. Like there might be the odd doctor in the birth ward at the hospital who puts in some long hours, but honestly, the guy's a machine.
We have a lot of fun with what we do.
We do. and that's the whole point.
Yeah.
So if Max can do it, you can do it.
Absolutely.
Right? Like don't be afraid, because
No.
the whole idea about doing DIY renovations is to try. Mm-hmm. You're going to make mistakes, you're going to fail, you're going to go backwards, but that's part of learning. And then once you've accomplished a major task like that, you're going to be so, we get people messaging, hey, I feel empowered, I feel encouraged, but be competent, right? Do it, and then the next time you have to face a major challenge in your life, you're going to be like, big deal, I've done a kitchen.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Well, and
you can do anything in your house now. That's the most difficult system in the house, is the kitchen.
It is, and that was another thing. One of the reasons that inspired me to do this project. It feels really weird being on this side of the camera. I absolutely don't like it. It's just funny looking.
You hate it.
But what I want to do is, I see the comments. I see you guys are posting. People write, "Thank you. You helped us with we did this because of you." But there's a lot of people write, this is awesome, but I can't do this. I see that comment all the time. People are like, and you know what? The truth is you can. You really can. And you can do a lot more than you think. It doesn't mean that you have to do such an extravagant project.
Right.
But there's so much more that you could. You know, I started with flooring. That was the first thing I ever did. Didn't know a damn thing about flooring.
Yeah.
Now, you know, I know something about flooring. I feel confident to put down my flooring.
There you go.
That's what it started
Worst
with.
case scenario, you're going to install flooring for a living.
Exactly, yeah. I'll have knees of steel, right?
Well, listen, we're glad to be able to bring this information for you. Max saved a ton of money from his renovation. So make sure you subscribe to this channel, because in the next video, we're going to show you what he did with the rest of that money. It's another renovation project in his house.
That's right.
Once you be successful, don't screw up your house. Don't turn it into a do-yourself-in disaster. Do it right. Be like Max and have a brand new kitchen. Great idea.
Yeah, listen
Cheers,
to
buddy.
All right, thanks, man. So the kitchen remodel turned out awesome, and I couldn't be happier, I couldn't be prouder. But what I'm actually prouder of is my wife for this room that I'm standing in right now. This used to be a plain bedroom, and with a little bit of care, my wife took care of it and made it the nursery for our son Lex. This is an awesome place. It's made it so homey, and I couldn't be more proud of her. So this is our son Lex, and we couldn't be happier with him. He's an amazing young boy, and he's absolutely transformed our lives. And as amazing as this whole renovation of this house and this kitchen is, there's nothing amazing as becoming a parent, and we are just so thankful. And honestly, this is what matters most. So you can do your renovation, but what matters most is always family. So keep that first and everything else second. Mwah. So if you guys made it this far in the video, I just want to thank you for watching, and not just watching this video, but watching all the other reality Renovision episodes. You know, we've been making these episodes for over 11 years now, and we've created over 50 episodes. And every time you guys watch and comment, it means the world to us. And having the ability to film, edit, direct, and do all this has been an absolute dream come true for me. So I'm very thankful for Jeff giving me that opportunity to be able to tell the story, and tell the story how it is, and not, you know, hiding anything, showing everything that happened, you know, the good times, the bad times, the highs, the lows. And I think that's really amazing. So especially this farmhouse series, it has been, for me personally, a dream come true. To kind of make something you'd see on like Discovery Channel or something. Love watching shows there. So it's been awesome to share that adventure with you, and thank you for joining us on that. So unfortunately, this is the end of Reality Renovision. We have one more episode coming of this house, and we will be changing the style, but that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. We're actually going to be doing more of a real-time update, so you guys can kind of get almost a real-time update behind the scenes, what's going on in Jeff's life and all the renovations and whatnot. So it will make this channel a little more interesting, but to have all these episodes done and have your guys' support and watching us means the world to us. So thank you so much. Now guys, I encourage you to like and subscribe if you like this video and other videos like it. We got lots more to come. Otherwise, we have some cool stuff to show you. So I'm not sure if you've seen it, but Jeff's finale for his 1880s farmhouse is probably our best video. We're really proud of it. It's an amazing story. We'd love to share it with the world. So check it out here. You can watch the whole story. And at the same time, next week we have over here, you can watch the rest of this house being remodeled from everything I learned from Jeff. And if you're really bored, you can watch these two movies where Jeff actually appeared in them right over here. And if for some reason you want to watch some of my other stuff, I have one more channel here with some other content. Thank you for watching. We really appreciate your support.